Good morning and welcome to today's Paris Live on Radio France International. It's Tuesday the 22nd of May. Here are some of the stories making headlines around the world this morning. US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has threatened to place the strongest sanctions in history on Iran if its government does not change course over its nuclear program. Pompeo laid out a detailed and aggressive list of 12 basic requirements on Iran that he said should be included in a new nuclear agreement. This comes after US President Donald Trump's announcement earlier this month that his country would pull out of a landmark accord struck in 2015 between Tehran and major world powers. This move came despite the fact that the UN's nuclear watchdog has confirmed that Tehran has so far abided by the terms which allow it to have sanctions relief. The EU's foreign policy chief Federica Mogherini yesterday warned that there was no alternative to the current nuclear deal. She said Pompeo had not demonstrated how walking away from the pact could make the region safer. The leaders of Italy's anti-establishment Five Star Movement and the far-right League Party have put forward little-known lawyer Giuseppe Conte as their candidate for Prime Minister, who would be in charge of forming a new coalition government. The announcement comes just over 2 months after the elections were held. Conte is said to be an expert in simplification, cutting of red tape and streamlining of the administrative machine. The endorsement from President Sergio Mattarella, expected later today, is crucial if the parties are to seek approval for a new government in Parliament. The French public sector staff will join rail workers in striking today to protest against reforms proposed by President Emmanuel Macron in a rare show of unity which was last seen around 10 years ago. The stoppages are part of a series of demonstrations by public sector employees against Macron, who has pledged to reduce public spending, trim jobs and overhaul state institutions. Their walkout will affect schools, public kindergartens, flights and some energy infrastructure. Rail workers have already been downing tools every 2 days out of 5 since April 3rd, a move which has seen high-speed services and commuter trains badly affected. An Australian archbishop has been found guilty of covering up child sex abuse in the 1970s, one of the highest-ranked church officials to be successfully prosecuted for such offences. Adelaide Archbishop Philip Wilson was accused of concealing abuse by notorious pedophile priest Jim Fletcher in the New South Wales Hunter region by failing to report the allegations. Wilson faces a maximum of 2 years in jail. Sentencing will be at a later date. And in Thailand, police have encircled a Bangkok university as protesters prepared to march to Government House to mark 4 years of junta rule. This despite a ban on political gatherings since a coup toppled the elected government of Yingluck Shinawat on May 22, 2014. Prime Minister and Army Chief Prayut Chan-o-cha has suggested elections will be held in February next year. But the timetable for a return to democracy has frequently slipped, and patience with his junta is wearing thin among many sections of Thai society, including some of his former supporters.